Life of an astronaut inside the International Space Station. Have you ever been curious about what it's like to work in space? During their stay on the International Space Station, astronauts have to continue living and working in an environment that is very different from that here on Earth. But they still need to keep themselves clean, go to the bathroom, eat and drink, and stay fit and healthy. After all, they're just regular people going about their jobs. Join us in today's video to find out about the life of an astronaut inside the International Space Station. Number 1. Breakfast. Toast is definitely a big no-no for the space station because crumbs are a disaster in zero-gravity environments. Not only are they messy, but if left to float away unchecked, they could get lodged into tiny crevices and encourage the growth of fungus. So, they eat food like scrambled eggs, oatmeal, or waffles. True, much of it is dehydrated, brought to life with warm water, but there's also lemonade, coffee, or tea, so long as you don't mind drinking through a straw, of course. After breakfast, part of a rigorously planned diet that's carefully monitored by a nutritionist, it's time for a crew call to Mission Control to go over the plan for the day. Nearly every single task on the ISS is carefully scripted, and astronauts have their activities planned in step-by-step fashion down to the finest detail. Some of the most important duties involve maintenance, both preventative tasks carried out before things go wrong, and the corrective approach once something's actually broken. Cleaning filters is important, as the disinfection of surfaces, updating computer software, and even taking out the trash, which usually goes into a Russia-launched Progress service vehicle. On occasion, the crew's maintenance duties will require a spacewalk. This can be for jobs as apparently mundane as changing batteries on the exterior of the station, but still necessitate 4 hours to suit up and 100-page checklist to run through. In case you're wondering, yes, there's a diaper in there. Typically, the crew moves through the interior of the ISS using an array of handrails, which are situated at intervals on every surface. It's said that during extended missions, astronauts' calluses vanish from the base of their feet, but reappear on the top, because this is suddenly a very crucial body part for keeping them upright and steady. Number 2. Dressing. Astronauts usually wear casual short-sleeve t-shirts, as the temperature aboard remains a constant 72 to 73 degrees, and there's rarely any reason to get dolled up or wear a jumper. They change their clothes as seldom as possible, often wearing the same item for days at a time. This is because there isn't much storage space, and certainly no washing facilities on the station. After a few days, the smellier items are stashed in a mesh bag, ready for the next resupply mission to dispatch to a spectacular fiery death on re-entry, hopefully having brought fresh supplies beforehand. Number 3. Bathroom. Unfortunately, even in space, nature calls. And as you might expect, visiting the bathroom in a microgravity environment throws up an assortment of grim challenges. For liquid waste, each crew member is issued with a personal urinal funnel they attach to a fan-driven vacuum hose. This fan sucks any and all liquids away, whisking just next door. Solid waste has its own wholly separate system. Well, it's the same fan. Feces are sucked into a wastewater tank and sealed in a plastic bag. It's considered good etiquette, by the way, for astronauts to at least try to remember to leave the fresh bag for the next crew person. Number 4. Lunch. While the days of the week make even less sense than the difference between day and night in space, the ISS crew still maintains a distinction between weekdays and weekends and shares a ritual meal together as a team on Sunday. Weightlessness creates issues for everything aboard the ISS, and cooking is no exception. Convection, the heating principle on which most Earth-based ovens run, doesn't work in orbit. Hence, most meals are prepared by dehydrated ingredients and hot water. This is also to prevent fungus from taking hold amid moist, stored foodstuffs. Some food items, beefsteak for instance, become pre-sterilized with ionizing radiation, which helps prevent spoilage. Condiments like ketchup, mustard, or hot chili are all available to spice things up, as are salt and pepper, albeit in liquid form, as the granules don't drift away and cause havoc with the station operations. Deliveries of fresh food, such as fruit, happen periodically throughout the year. Takeaways aren't really an option, except for back in 2001, when Pizza Hut memorably sent a family-sized salami pizza on a Russian rocket as part of a $1 million marketing stunt. Isn't it cool, right? Mission Control is keenly aware of the importance of fresh supplies to the morale of the hard-working ISS crew. After washing their hands with disinfectant wipes, they straight back to work. The main mission of the ISS team is to conduct scientific experiments and further mankind's understanding of life in space. So the most important and exciting work they'll do is essential in the role of lab technicians, guided in their actions by scientists on the ground, and the ISS is positively bristling with labs. Russia has 2 mini research modules. The US lab is called Destiny. Columbus is run by the European Space Agency. The most recent lab is Japan's Kibo, which includes a special platform allowing experiments to take place outside the station. Just some of the questions being explored concern the effects of low gravity on living cells, artificial materials, and even miniature explosions. A veritable menagerie of animals, from mice to ants to fish to worms, often participate. But it's fair to say the most regular experimental subjects are the astronauts themselves. Number 5. Gym. Each crew member is required, as part of their duties, to work out for at least 2 and sometimes more hours every day. Partly, this is because gravity on Earth naturally keeps human beings' bones and muscles in good condition as they are constantly working to keep us upright. But in space, muscles atrophy and bones grow brittle unless constantly worked. Astronauts also work out to combat the dreaded space snuffles, an unlovely condition where bodily fluids, no longer tugged backwards by gravity, accumulate in the head. In order to stay trim and clear-minded, astronauts make use of 3 main pieces of gym equipment, especially designed and calibrated for life on board. There's an exercise bike, which doesn't have a seat because you don't need one in zero gravity. There's also a treadmill, onto which crew are secured with bungee straps. It has a clever vibration isolation system built in, so astronauts' heavy footfall can't disturb the delicate science going on elsewhere on the ISS. The third main piece of workout equipment is the so-called Advanced Resistive Exercise Device, or ARED. The most recent addition to the IRS onboard gym, ARED uses clever vacuum-sealed cylinders to mimic resistance to up to 600 pounds as an alternative to lifting heavy weights. If you're wondering how astronauts cope with the sheer tedium of pumping iron for 2 hours every day while teams on the ground monitor their vital signs and provide coaching, don't worry, there are screens for watching movies and even scope to get competitive. In 2012, a NASA athlete named Sunita Williams competed in the Malibu Triathlon, using ARED as a makeshift swimming simulator. Well, what's your excuse? Number 6. Sleeping. At night, astronauts return to their sleeping bags. These bags have special armholes so users can keep restraint but can still type or read a book. Some issues to overcome when catching 40 wings includes the ISS's constant humming noise. It's been compared to a constantly running vacuum cleaner. It is said that earplugs help out a lot. Another more disturbing consideration for dozing astronauts is airflow. Experienced crewmates try to align themselves at night with the stationary vents. This is because warm air doesn't rise in space, so sleeping astronauts in poorly ventilated sections can wake up gasping for air, surrounded by an invisible bubble of their own exhaled carbon dioxide. At the very least, this causes splitting headaches. Once they eventually drift off, seasoned astronauts are even said to dream in zero gravity. Oh, and despite everything else that's different up there, snoring is apparently still very much a thing. Well guys, what do you think? Does all that discomfort and middling food seem worth it to become an astronaut? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more interesting videos. Take care and bye-bye.